I know, transfer rumours. I do get it, by the way. I do as well. I'm waiting for channels to upload content, and when they upload transfer rumours, even I'm a bit like, oh, have you not got anything else for today? But there are two names that have caught my attention being linked to West Ham in the last couple of days for different reasons as well. So first up, we've got Arsenal Smith-Rowe. Now, the reason that caught my attention is not because I know him. Well, I don't know him. I know of him. I've seen him play enough times, so I have an opinion of him. But it's the claim that's caught my attention, which is that West Ham have first refusal on Smith-Rowe should Arsenal decide to sell him. Interesting, we'll discuss that. Then the second player, the reason he caught my attention is because I've never heard of him. I like it. I like being linked to players I've never heard of. I have to do the old Google, get on the old transfer market, have a look at the stats and be like, who is this player? I still don't really know. But I have seen him play once this season. He played at Old Trafford. He plays for Galatasaray. We'll get on to him. We'll leave him till we're about 5 minutes into the video, because then those that aren't interested in the video have disappeared by then, so they won't hear me butcher his name. And those that got that far, hopefully they're going to stick with me despite me butchering his name. And also, we've got to discuss this. I'm giving this away. One of you guys, someone watching this video right now, is going to win this, a beard trimmer from Manscaped. We'll talk about that. But first, we're going to kick it off with Smith-Rowe. Now, as I said, the claim is that West Ham, when they were selling Declan Rice to Arsenal in the summer, Smith-Rowe was David Moyes' first choice. David Moyes' preference for that attacking midfielder kind of player wasn't Mohamed Kudus, it was actually Smith-Rowe of Arsenal. So when we were selling Declan Rice to Arsenal, we actually had an agreement that should they then sell Smith-Rowe in future, we get first refusal. Now, I thought that's a very interesting claim. Do you know, sometimes, right, you get these transfer rumours and you look at it and think that's rubbish. Like the Thomas Souček one at the minute. Souček might be going to Inter Milan on a free. It's rubbish. Every West Ham channel is quite uniform in this, I think, which is, it's rubbish. Our Reliable in the Nose have said he signed a new deal. All the noises suggest that he signed a new contract. I don't have any reason to disbelieve that. So when you see the transfer rumours that we could lose him on a free, it's hard to really believe it whatsoever. So you can discard those ones. But this one, I just feel like it's too random to not be true. Do you know what I mean? It just feels too random. Because if someone has invented that, that's a really random thing to think. They'll go, do you know what I'm going to make up today? I'm going to make up the West Ham first refusal on Smith-Rowe. Now, there's various ways this can come out. This can come out from Arsenal side of things. Maybe they want to sell Smith-Rowe, so it's a case of, hey, West Ham, you want to use your first refusal thing, you've got to get a move on because this other club's interested. It could come out from Smith-Rowe's side of thing. Maybe he wants to move away. Maybe he's trying to force other clubs' hands. It could come out from the Newcastle side of things. Unlikely, but Newcastle are strongly linked to him. Then, of course, it could come from the West Ham side of things. Now, when I say the Newcastle side, I don't mean Newcastle have leaked it. I mean, they perhaps have begun negotiations with Smith-Rowe's agents and discovered that West Ham have first refusal and it's come out via that way. That's how I mean. So there's various ways that this story could come out should it be true. But I find it quite interesting because hypothetically, if it was true, I quite like it. Now, it doesn't mean anything. Not really. Because it's not like we've agreed a fee. There's no option to buy him or anything there. It simply means that should Newcastle, there's a reason I'm using Newcastle, I'll get onto it. But should Newcastle agree a fee of 40 million for Smith-Rowe with Arsenal, means we automatically get our bid accepted. We match what another club's bid, we automatically get our bid accepted. So I guess it's a good thing. It's certainly not a bad thing, but it doesn't really mean anything, does it? Because if we decide that we don't want to pay 40 million, we're out of the running altogether. That clause, that benefit is gone. Now, the reason I keep using Newcastle is because they're being linked to him. They've been linked to him in the past quite a lot, actually. But they're being linked to him again because obviously Tonali's expecting a ban. Eddie Howe's been discussing it today, saying he's playing at the weekend. He's not going to discuss it. They're supporting Tonali. But there's an expectation that he's going to get some form of ban. So Newcastle now being linked to him. I know what you're thinking. They're not really similar. I agree. I don't think they're like for like replacements, but that's the transfer rumours. But they were linked to Smith-Rowe for some time. This isn't the first time. But the claim also said that this was David Moyes' preference in the summer. Not first choice, that was Ward-Prowse. But in terms of an attacking midfielder, this is who Moyes wanted. Instead, we went and signed Mohamed Kudus. Now, since the transfers happened, we've heard Moyes speak about how he spoke to Steven Pienaar. He spoke to Heitinga, who's obviously the coaching team at West Ham now. And Mark Noble like Kudus. We've heard the reasons why Kudus ended up at West Ham. But we've also heard from Kudus' agent. which was he spoke to Chelsea. He had agreed a deal with Chelsea. Chelsea just insulted Ajax, that's all. So it would make sense in some regards that we were looking at alternatives, at least, that if we wanted Kudus, while he was speaking to Chelsea and Brighton, we were also going about our own business, and Smith-Rowe might have been one of those players. Now, I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I think he's an excellent player. It's just plagued by injuries. Now, so far this season, I say touch wood, I don't know why, touch wood for Smith-Rowe, I guess, that he remains injury-free, because he is a talented young player, and he is young. He only turned 23 in the summer. It feels like he's been about for a while now, so you automatically assume he's like mid-20s. He's just turned 23 back in the summer, so he's a really good age. Homegrown as well. I know some of our subscribers don't like me going on about homegrown players, but it's essential. It's an essential quota that we have within our squad. And when I say to you, which players would you like to see leave West Ham in the near future, I'm pretty certain a lot of people say Aaron Creswell and Danny Ings. Well, that's 2 homegrown players that's leaving. Ben Johnson and Conor Coventry, another 2 homegrown players leaving. So it's something we're going to have to keep our eye on. I'm pretty certain, in fact, I'm 99% certain Tim Steidten has his eye on the homegrown quota. Well, he bloody should. If he doesn't, I'm going to get worried. But he should do, right? So we're going to have to buy homegrown players, whether it's in January next summer. We're going to have to, 1 or 2 of the signings we make are going to have to be homegrown. So Smith-Rowe ticks that box. But do we need Smith-Rowe? I would suggest we do, or a player like it. With Pablo Fornals' contract running out, and there's absolutely no rumours that he's going to be getting a new one or signing a new one, so I think it's safe to assume that he's going to go possibly in January, but certainly next summer. Saeed Benrahma's out the team now. Is he got a future here? Maxwell Cornet's never really been in the team. Has he got a future here? So in terms of that attacking midfielder type position, we are going to need someone. And I think the Smith-Rowe's situation at Arsenal isn't a great one at the minute. He's barely played any minutes in the Premier League. Came off the bench in both Champions League games. Got 20 minutes in each game. Played the Carabao Cup game, which they won. I think he played about 80 minutes in that one. So he's fit this season. But he's just not really getting too much of an opportunity. And I understand it. I understand why Arteta may be hesitant to if you put him in your team and you become reliant on him, it's risky. We know that. We're doing it with Kurt Zouma. We're relying on a player who's likely to miss games due to injury. It's a gamble. Plus, let's be completely honest here. Arsenal's got Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. In reserve, they've also got Vieira and Trossard. It's incredible competition. There's a lot of players ahead of Smith-Rowe at Arsenal, and there's no shame in that. It doesn't mean he's a bad player. He's still a fantastic player. It's just that Arsenal have some really good players that play in that position. I think West Ham would be a good move for him. I think Smith-Rowe would be a good signing for us, and he's got the talent to play for Arsenal. I do believe that. It's just his injuries is what prevents him from being a regular, and this is possibly why Arsenal may be willing to sell him. So, Smith-Rowe to West Ham, do you know what? I'm not dismissing this rumour. Do I believe it? Not necessarily. I guess the rumour is, it doesn't even, the rumour, by the way, just let me clarify this, the rumour isn't that West Ham wants Smith-Rowe. That's not even the rumour. The rumour is we just have first refusal, and it's actually Newcastle that want him, but should Newcastle move, it might force West Ham to go in for him as well. But I actually would welcome this. If we were to go in the market and get him, I think he's a great player, needs a break, needs to stay away from injuries, but that's why we can go get him. If Smith-Rowe didn't have injury issues, I think he'd possibly be a regular Arsenal. I say a regular, not necessarily starting every game, but starting enough games, coming off the bench in every single game, a bit like what Benrahma's doing for us this season. He plays enough and gets his minutes, guaranteed sub, etc. I think that's the role he'd have at Arsenal at the minute. But because of his injuries, he's perhaps gettable. Anyway, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. Listen, it might be Halloween time. It might be time for trick-or-treating, but there's no reason for you to look scary right now. So for all your male needs grooming, head over to manscaped.com. And, hey, there's no tricking around here. We got a treat for you. You use the code HAMMERSCHAT. You will save 20% off everything, plus free shipping worldwide. Manscaped.com, the link's in the description below. Use the code HAMMERSCHAT and you'll grab everything. Now, as I said at the start of the video, we're giving away one of these. It's their beard hedger. Now, they sent it to me, and let's be honest with you, I've got no use for it. I can't grow a beard to save my life, so there's no point me having this. So I'm going to give it to one of you guys. All you have to do in the comments below is just reply with your thoughts about Smith-Rowe, and at the end of it, just say that you want the beard kit, so I know that you actually want it. Let's get it to someone that can grow a beard, that can do beards justice, because I can't. I couldn't grow a beard if my life depended on it, but that's why I prefer the Handyman, which is also from Manscaped, but this helps me keep what I can grow, what stubble does come out, keeps that in check. But you can save 20% off absolutely everything, so whether you're getting yourself a beard hedger, whether you're getting yourself a Handyman, or whether you're getting yourself to look good downstairs, go to manscaped.com, use the code HammersChat and save 20% off everything and free shipping worldwide. But yeah, there you go, one user getting that, thanks to my inability to grow a beard. Anyway, Kerem, right, here we go, this is his name, Maatsen Aktürkoğlu. I've seen him play once. I've seen him play once. When he got linked to us yesterday, 24-year-old winger from Galatasaray. We want him partly. Spurs also want him. We're willing to double his wages. He's on 23 grand a week. We're willing to double his wages to, you guessed it, 46 grand a week. Anyway, I've seen him play once. So while I thought I never heard of him, Galatasaray, hang on a minute, did he play against? He did play against Man U. Not only did he play against Man U, he scored against Man U. So I've seen him score a goal. I don't remember him, but if you watch that game, he wears his socks like Jack Grealish. We've got a Jack Grealish wannabe on our hands here. Socks rolled down, calves out. They're not as impressive as Jack Grealish is, but his calves are out. And he scored at Old Trafford earlier this season in the Champions League. So we're being linked to him. I don't have an opinion on him. I can't even recall him. I can recall his goal. He got played in. First touch was all right. His finish was quite neat. But that's all really. But we're being linked to him. But like I said, so are other clubs such as Tottenham. They're also being linked to him as well. So Maatsen Aktürkoğlu. Listen, if you've got an opinion, get involved in the comments, really, because I quite like reading it. I quite like reading about players I'm unaware of. Pablo Fornals has been linked to Sevilla, no surprise there. As mentioned, his contract's running up at the end of this season. There's no word whatsoever of him staying beyond this season. So the summer's our last chance to cash in. 10 million is the fee being touted around, but apparently Sevilla can't afford it. This is where it's awkward. Where's Fornals is going to go? I'm going to say I'm 90% confident Fornals is going to go back to Spain. Which club, I don't know. But I think he's going to go back there. Whether it's Sevilla, whether it's Real Betis for obvious reasons, whether it's Valencia, I don't know. I think he'll go back to Spain. The problem West Ham have got is that Spanish clubs, come the 1st of January, Spanish clubs can offer him a contract. Obviously, he doesn't go till the end of the season, but legally, they can start offering term. They've possibly already done it. If someone wanted him on a free contract, I'd be surprised they haven't already contacted him, gone through the agents. It happens in football. We benefit from it sometimes, we miss out from it sometimes. It's the way it works. But legally, they can actually offer him a firm contract on the 1st of January. So while we're trying to negotiate with clubs like Sevilla and get money for him, they can get him for free at the end of the season. They can negotiate directly with him without West Ham. Now, obviously, it's just a case of, do you want him now in January? Because if so, you're going to have to pay for him. But you might find these clubs aren't that bothered. They might say, well, for the sake of 10 million, we'll wait. We won't have him in January. We'll just take him in the summer for free. We can negotiate that with him. They can agree a deal. Sevilla could agree a deal with Fornals by the 5th of January, just not sign it. And basically, they can turn around to West Ham and say, right, well, he's coming to us, so let's negotiate. And if you can give us an acceptable fee, we'll buy him now. But if not, we'll just get him to sign that contract. We'll have him in the summer. So I think West Ham's negotiating stance on this one is a pretty poor one, actually. And it's a shame. It's a shame to see what's happened with Fornals. He's had a bit of a roller coaster ride at West Ham, hasn't he? But I think he made himself a bit of a fan's favourite. You know, he's certainly... I like it when players come over and get it. They look into West Ham, they look into the history of the club, and you can tell by when they speak that they have done. Soufal's another one. And Fornals has definitely done that. So I've really hoped it would work out for him, and at times you can see why it hasn't, but other times you think he's maybe not had the fairest crack at the whip. So it's one of them. I'm actually gutted it hasn't worked out for him. I'm resigned to him leaving West Ham. It's just a shame that he's going, really, and it's ended like this. Ian Maatsen, now this is an interesting one. Chelsea left back, we were linked to him strongly in the summer, as were Burnley. Burnley could have bought him for 30 million, decided not to. We were strongly linked to him. Now apparently this is a Tim Steidten player. Steidten really likes him. Steidten wants him. Homegrown player, ticking that box. So should homegrown Alan Creswell leave, we ideally would bring in homegrown and younger and better Ian Maatsen from Chelsea. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, his contract was due to expire in the summer, but Chelsea have triggered a clause in his contract. They had a 1-year extension in there which they could trigger at any point. They've triggered it now, so his contract now expires in 2024. The rumours are Chelsea are intending on starting negotiations with Maatsen, trying to get him to sign an extension on top of that. But Maatsen's a bit reluctant. He wants to see if he's going to get first team football. He wants more minutes at Chelsea. So he's in no rush to sign a new deal. Apparently they've been trying to get him to sign a new deal now. He wouldn't do it. That's why they've triggered the extension. And they're going to continue negotiating with him. So I think it's one to watch. But what it does do is it means that in the summer, should we want him, A, Chelsea can demand a fee. But also B, they've lost. Last summer, they could say 30 million. And clubs could say, well, no, you're right, Chelsea, because that's fine, because we've got a 1-year clause. We can extend his contract. Not the end of the world. They can't say that now. This is it. They've done it now. So it definitely expires in 24, should he not sign a new deal. So I think this rumour is one to watch. I hope it's true. I really hope it's true. My only concern, if you like, my query would be, is he guaranteed more minutes at West Ham than he is at Chelsea? Because Emerson's in the form of his life at the minute, so he's not getting in ahead of Emerson. But Pochettino keeps playing him in an advanced position down the left side, which is interesting. It's interesting. We have a vacancy. Arguably, Paqueta's occupying it at the minute. But to some regards, in theory, we have a vacancy on the left-hand side of the pitch, further up. Maybe Steidten / Moyes actually fancies him as a left winger. We'll have to wait and see. We went for Carlos Borges. We were after Carlos Borges. Went right down the wire, got to the 11th hour, and then thought, well, let's just see if there's anyone better out there. Let's see if this is the right player to spend our money on. We offended Carlos Borges and his team. They off they went to Ajax. It's not worked out great for them, has it? But we went seriously far in these negotiations with a young left winger. So maybe don't dismiss Maatsen. And at the same time, I also wouldn't assume it's to play left back. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's to play both. Maybe it's to compete with Emerson, but also compete with Paqueta. Well, not Paqueta, you know what I mean. Compete for that left-sided role in the attack. And the last one is Scott McTominay. Now, truth be told, I didn't see this transfer rumour. I watched Nick's video today from Planet Booze, and he was speaking about Scott McTominay. I had McTominay in the title. Clickbaited me. Got me right in there. McTominay, I'm a bit of that. I'm defending Scott. Come on then, Nick. I'm defending Scott. I'm not offering Nick out before anyone just clips that. I'm defending Scott McTominay. That's all. I'm still a big fan of him. 60 million though. I mean, even I wouldn't pay that. I'm a huge fan of Scott McTominay. Even I wouldn't want to see us signing for 16 million. But 30 million, 100%. I would still argue today, McTominay is an upgrade on Souček. He is. He's still an upgrade. Can still do what Souček's doing, but better. And Souček's having a good season. McTominay is an upgrade. However, I'm going to end the video. The hypothetical question. When Alvarez gets suspended, which is inevitable, if he gets booked against Aston Villa, he's suspended for the Everton game. 4 yellow cards. The suspension is near. Who replaces him? I don't think there's any obvious answer. Some would say, I was hoping to see Kerr play a couple of games defensive midfield just to see if he could be the replacement. We've not tried it. Moyes has brought him on a couple of games in that position, but it's not enough. So what, Souček drops in there? It's not the same, is it? We don't have one. We don't have a replacement for Alvarez. I'm not saying McTominay would be as good as Alvarez. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is McTominay could cover Alvarez for a game, for a short period of time should he get injured. McTominay can do that role. I think his best position is what Thomas Souček's doing, which is the box-to-box thing. Different player for Scotland than he is for Man United. If you've only seen him for Man United, I get why you'd hate him, but if you've seen him play for Scotland, I think you might be a bit more open to wanting him at West Ham. He's just a different animal for us. Far better player, better in his best position, and we utilise it well. I still remember. I know. I'll stop going on about it. Right, when we were being linked to him in the summer, and I said that he had 5 goals in 4 games for Scotland, and someone said, well, of course he's going to score that many goals when he's got Bruno Fernandes and Rashford playing with him. But the worst thing is, he obviously listened to the video, because I read out I said the stat, 5 goals in 4 games for Scotland. So he took the statistic bit, but he missed the other bit, which was Scotland. I said clearly numerous times, I'm biased because I see him for Scotland. If I didn't see him for Scotland, listen, if I saw Man U McTominay and only Man U McTominay, I wouldn't be keen on him. I wouldn't want him. But I don't only see that. I see him play for Scotland every international break, and he's by far our best player at the minute. Had the captain's armband in last international break. So, yeah, Scott McTominay at West Ham. Yes, please. 60 million. No, thank you. I don't think it would take 60 million to get him out of Old Trafford, though. Maybe 40, but it's quite expensive. But hey, at least he's homegrown, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hey, you got a beard and you want to trim it, there you go, get involved in the comments. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. I'll catch up with you in a bit.